Okay, so this is sort of a sound check, and I'm wondering if anybody can hear me out there. We just want to make sure that the sound is okay. And I'm waiting for someone maybe to comment on the live stream. Sounds good. That's what I would like to hear. Hope you can hear me. Sounds good is what we want. Coyote. How you doing, Kai? Good to see you out there. Can you hear me? Does it sound all right? I'll be sound checking here, but hang on. We start about 7 o'clock. Ow! Meanwhile, here's a little commercial that we just did for the Kervil Folk Festival. The Kervil Folk Festival has been celebrating songwriters for 50 years. Kervil's Grassy Hill New Folk Songwriting Contest has featured artists such as Adrian Linker, Anais Mitchell, James McMurtry, Lyle Lovett, Nancy Griffith, and Robert Earl Keane. Here everyone is greeted with Welcome Home, where life is simpler, kinder, and musical. The Kervil Folk Festival. Put it on your bucket list. How does it sound, folks? No matter where you go, you're always in reality. It's ebb of the flow, thick of the thin reality. So kick back, relax, you're among friends in reality. We want you to know we're part of the show in reality. So ladies and gentlemen, for your edification, it's Reality Ranch, our presentation. One more half second, I'll say that this is Reality Ranch. No matter where you go, you're always in reality. It's the ebb of the flow, the thick of the thin reality. Kick back, relax, you're among friends in reality. We want you to know you're part of the show in reality. So ladies and gentlemen, for your edification, it's Reality Ranch, our presentation. Just a few more buttons to push. I wonder what this one does. Well, hi, folks. This is Bob Livingston, all the way from Austin, Texas, beaming into the ether. And it's a wonderful night. It's March the 4th, 2021, about 7 p.m. And I want to thank you for tuning in. Call all your friends. Text them right now. Tell them to get on over here. We're going to be playing a lot of songs from Reality Ranch. And it's my wonderful little ranch. I'll be doing things like this during the show and turning on more lights, livening up the place. Now, how does it sound? I'm going to have to check you out. Does anybody have anything to say at this point? I'm looking for one of my wonderful regular folks that know the drill to say, sounds good, looks good. But so far, nobody is doing that. So I just have to think that, I don't know what to think. I'll just keep on keeping on. That's what I'll keep on doing. Anyway, I want to send it out to all you original spirits, wherever you may be tonight. I always sing this song first a lot of times because it just kind of gets my mojo going, puts me in the groove. I hope it puts you all in the groove. She lives down south where the rivers age, goes back to the original spirit. And the India ink is flowing over the page, down to the original spirit. where the rhythm of life is still young, and she is one among the original spirits. And every morning she walks out to the sacred ground where the ancient music is playing. Oh, she begins to sing as the rain falls down, like 1,000 voices were praying. And then the clouds have all gone, and her light shines on in her original spirit. And I need to know that I'm a part of this original spirit. I just need to know it. I need it. Where my aim is true, and I ride that royal road. Yes, I know the truth. I know it when I hear it, and its original spirit. Original spirit. So take me down south where the river's age goes back to the original spirit, and the India ink is flowing over the page, down to the original spirit. And the rhythm of life still young on the internet tonight. And we all at one in Reality Ranch with the original spirit. The original spirit. The original spirit. How are we doing? I kind of got it where Bud Jocelyn said, sounds okay. I mean, that, sounds okay. I mean, you could, it's words are merely pointers. And he says, sounds okay. And that could just mean, it sounds okay. Or it could be, sounds okay. But he didn't put an exclamation point. So it's more like, sounds okay. Okay, well. Here's a song I wrote with John Hadley from Norman, Oklahoma. When I was doing this, my new record, I was writing this song on the phone with John Hadley, and we wrote this song, and it just kind of... Just trying to run yourself by that one more time. Cowboy Bob rides again. Don Graham. All right, you handsome devil. That's what I like. That's much better. And are we sounding good, though? Nobody really says sounding good. Oh, we have George Angela Valdez says it sounds good. All right. Tell all your friends to come. We're going to kind of ease into this. We don't want to, play all the great songs before we, go to Madison Square Garden, but maybe we do. You're the only one. I'm gonna get a few things right this time around. I know what went wrong last time and how it all went down. Now my mistakes are in the past, and now I know how to make a good thing last. It's true, baby. Nothing can go wrong, darling, just as long as I'm with you. Try that again. And everything is different than it used to be because of you. I always used to say I didn't like to dance, but now I do. You got me acting like a man insane, driving 90 miles an hour in the monsoon rains to get back to you, mama. Knocking on your door, I'm not lonesome anymore when I'm with you. It's true. Now I know it hadn't come easy, but after all is said and done, it's just bygone water underneath the bridge, 'cause you're the only one. You're the only one. That's right. Yeah, you're gonna see a change in me this time around. I'll be more easygoing like the Colorado flowing, Austin bound. You know, change is good, it'll make us last, and all our mistakes are in the past. We're free, baby, we're free. Nothing can go wrong, darling, just as long as you're with me. And when I'm knocking on your door, I'm not lonesome anymore when I'm with you. You're the only one. Okay, thank you very much. You know, I'll just kind of... I don't know what I just did. Say great sound. Okay, we're still trying to figure it out. I'm doing a new program tonight, and just going to make sure that everything is okay. Things needs to be kind of switched, and I don't know why. But in any case, I hope we're on. I hope we're moving forward. I'll do a song for Becky Crouch. I don't know if Becky's out there tonight. Hondo's daughter. This is called I Can't Get Enough of It. She liked this song. For a while there, for the past 2 or 3 years, I had this kind of a residency out at Lukenbach every Friday night. It's called the Wood Stove Sessions, and I would go out there with a trio. A lot of times Bradley Kopp was there, but I played with Casper Rawls and Teresa Britt there, and of course Richard Bowden. A lot of people played with me there. It was a fun series, and then this happened. They wanted me to come out again, but I just felt it wasn't right to do it, and I still kind of don't. I haven't had a gig since Friday the 13th of March, a live gig. I haven't played. That was my last show in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But I love to go down the road and play in house concerts and meet new people. And I never thought much about it, because it just seems so natural to live that kind of life. I'm feeling like I'm almost there. At least I know the end's in sight. Opportunities knocking everywhere, everywhere. I'm out of the tunnel and into the night. Oh, beautiful sunrise up ahead. A million colors to the dawn. Planets in position, underlined in red. Auspicious beginnings roll us along. Oh, and I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it, no. I can't get enough of it, but I want to go home. I've been a gypsy way too long, Donald. I haven't unpacked in 47 years except for the last year. And Ramblin' Jack, he showed me the way to this song, bless his heart. It's full of beauty, adventure, and tears. Oh, the kindness of strangers, the kindness of strangers and good friends. You know what? They put me up 10,000 nights at least. Anyway, my road is up ahead, just before the dead end. Here it comes, right there. Wait. It's the green gate with the Christmas lights. Oh, and I can't get enough of it. Nah, I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it, but you know what? I want to go home. Where there's questions answered, never asked. Indian summers, they always last. It all happened way too fast. And isn't it strange how the die was cast? and I'm feeling like I'm almost there. I won't miss the turn this time. Oh, and the magic of the mission is up the flatland stairs, flatland stairs. I feel like I made it to the head of the line. Oh, beautiful woman and children, they're waiting there for me. A house full of family and very best friends and cousins and dogs and cats and chickens. Chickens. Run around like a chicken with a head cut off, but am I only dreaming this? Is this just a dream? Am I only dreaming this mystery? Well, I hope I don't wake up before the end. Oh, and I couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't get enough of it, you know. And I still can't get enough of it, but you know, I want to go home. And I know some of you think the same thing about it. Of it. I can't get enough of it. Well, I think it's time that I kind of go here and commiserate with some of you and just make sure that everything is sounding okay over here. And that we're on. I don't have a lot of comments right now, but we got Coyote and I hear you and where's your beautiful face? And Eric Johnson says, hi, Bob. And George Angela Valdez says, sounding good. Okay, Just Ron. Bud just once again says, it sounds okay. James Nunn, you handsome devil, just fishing for compliments. Sounds good. Looks pretty. Yeah, I am fishing for compliments. Not really. I don't have a sound engineer except myself, and I can't hear it. You know, I have to have it completely silent. And so when I come in here, I put on, you know, I could wear earphones, I suppose, but you can't have any it'll have feedback. Yeah, so here's how it started. This was my first banner. And we are playing for tips tonight. I don't like to, you know, talk about tips so much, especially last night when I played this house concert over in West Austin, and there was a very, very nice housewoman, well appointed, and she had this Ming Dynasty collection, I think, and she, well, the husband just donated. She didn't do it because I think she was like making up the couch bed when we left. But he took her Ming Dynasty vase, it's cobalt blue, beautiful color, sprayed in flaming white letters the word tips on it. And, you know, you would think that it's self-evident what that was for, right? Well, tell that to the dyslexic that walked in and spit in it. Tell that to him. Left a couple of peach pits. All right, well, we're doing good. We're hanging in there talking about making jokes and stuff. I just want to make sure. Jeff Crump says it sounds good. Don Graham, all right. Oh, my old cowboy pal from Canada, Don Graham. Check him out, folks. Wish I could put a link in here. I can't do it, though. I hear guitar, vocals, and harmonica. That's what you want, yes? That's what Coyote says, yeah. It is well I want. Well spit. All right, James Nunn. Okay, so we're engaging. If you have any requests, write them on the back of a $100 bill and send them to the front. And we'll get right to it. All right. Well, we're doing good. I hope you're doing well. I'm having a good time. Actually, during this whole thing, I've been learning new technology and just trying to keep on keeping on. We have this reality ranch usually every Thursday night. I'm going to be doing some special things. I was on a show with Jeff Plankenhorn last Tuesday. It was a 20-question Tuesday. Jeff Plankenhorn, great singer-songwriter, dobro player, dobro master. It was his show, and he's like a really good talk show host. And we had a lot of questions. Some of you may have tuned into that. I think Bud Josseran tuned into it. And they asked questions, and strange questions. They said they had the most questions they've ever had for any guest. So that's good, folks. That's good. I suppose I could answer your questions right here and now. But it was cool stuff too. What kind of bass were you using? How did you learn how to play bass? That kind of thing. And I'll tell you, well, I'm from Lubbock, Texas. I was really born in San Antonio, but I tell everybody I'm from Lubbock for some reason. Because I spent the formative years, 1959 to 1969, I lived in Lubbock. During the 60s, heavy duty, 1959, 1969. And Buddy Holly just passed on before I got there. And I was a kid, 9 years old, and started going to school, and I ended up at Lubbock High School later on. And I went to Lubbock High School, and I had Miss Honey for English. And I don't know if you had a Miss Honey in your life, but she forced us to learn the Canterbury Tales. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Canterbury Tales, let's hear it light up. I want to see some emojis, like hearts and minds floating to the top of the stream there. Little hearts and minds. One that to prele with a sure sote, the drift a march is pierced to the rote, and badded every vein in swish liqueur, of which virtue engendered is the fleur. Why did you have to learn that? That's what I wanted to know, Miss Honey. Why do we have to learn this? When will you ever use it except now on a live stream in March the 4th, 2021? If she could have told me that, if she could have told me there's going to be this great, whatever it is, the great reset, and you're going to be in the middle of it, and you're going to be telling people about the Canterbury Tales to perpetuate Geoffrey Chaucer. So still didn't know what to think about her. She didn't have all the information, but she had that. But then I found out that she, at the beginning of her career, she taught Buddy Holly senior English. Buddy Holly. And of course, I pestered her with questions. Where'd he sit? She said, over by the door, Bob. So I got to sit in Buddy Holly's desk, and it was pretty vibey when I sat down. I just want to tell you that. There was a vibration going on, and I kept thinking he would come to me. He had come to me somehow, and I kept thinking that I wanted to be his friend. And sure enough, I channeled Buddy Holly one fine day, and he did come to me, and I kind of went in and saw his mind, and he told me things like how he had come to write various songs that he had written, like Not Fade Away in that very class, beautiful, cute girl right across the aisle, but he was so, shy. He couldn't talk to her. What he wanted to say was, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. You're going to give your love to me. That's what he wanted to say, but that would probably been pretty abrupt. So he sang it. I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. You're going to give your love to me. Love to last more than one day. Love for real and not fade away. Love is love and not fade away. So Buddy Holly, he went home. He had the first verse. He was going to impress her. He had the first verse and that little kind of half a chorus. But he needed another verse. He needed to describe how big and how beautiful and how wonderful his love was for this girl in Miss Honey's English class. So he listened to Ravi Shankar for some inspiration. Because his love was higher than the Himalayas and deeper than the Indian Ocean and more fertile than the Punjab. So he came up with one of the greatest rock and roll lines ever written today. I don't see I can be topped. It's at once transcendental and metaphysical at the same time, because he said, my love is bigger than a Cadillac. Woo! I try to show you, but you're driving me back. Your love for me got to be real. I want to show you just how love feels. Love for real and not fade away. And so right about the time that I kind of grokked that, I went to California by way of Red River, New Mexico. I forgot to tell you that after I channeled Buddy and he told me all that great stuff about these songs, he also gave me a great piece of advice. He said to get out of Lubbock. And that's what I did. And I took off for the Wild West, and I got as far as Los Angeles. I got a record deal on Capitol Records, and they gave me just enough money to buy a Datsun pickup truck and a Martin guitar. And I was driving down this dusty dirt road in the middle of Los Angeles one day when the hand of fate just kind of came out of nowhere and steered my little Datsun over the side of the road where there was a hitchhiker standing there. And I didn't usually stop for hitchhikers. Sometimes I did actually stop in those days. And I'm not trying to tell you you should stop for hitchhikers. But if I hadn't stopped for this guy, I wouldn't be standing here today live on the internet, beaming all over the world and maybe into outer space, the Reality Ranch show with Bob Livingston. I wouldn't be standing here today telling you that if I hadn't stopped for that hitchhiker. He jumped in. We told each other our life stories. Mine lasted about 2 blocks. Not much had happened to me, but this guy was an interesting dude. He was from Austria. And he worked on foreign cars for movie stars in Hollywood. And he got big acting parts. He was a pretty good-looking guy, big old guy. And finally he looked at me, and this is a true story. He looked at me and said, the only other Texan I know is from Dallas. His name is Mike Murphy. And see, Murphy, I had learned some of his songs from Ray Wiley in that Red River scene that I was hanging out in. I kind of skipped over that real quick, but to kind of backtrack, Three Faces West, Rick Fowler, Wayne Kidd, and way, 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 way back in the back, making a fool of himself, was Ray Hubbard. He wasn't even Ray Wiley yet. He was just plain old Ray Hubbard. But they did songs by Mike Murphy. And I thought, this is great stuff. And so when the hitchhiker said, Mike Murphy, he said, the only other Texan I know is Mike Murphy. I said, if you ever see Murphy again, tell him about me and give him my name and number. And that night, Murphy called me, Bob Livingston, up. Who are you? Why am I supposed to call you? What's going on? My mechanic told me to call you. And I told him about Red River, and I told him about Ray Hubbard and how he had taught me Wildfire. And I said, your songs are as good as anything I've heard since the Beatles. And Murphy said, you know what? You're a genius. He said that. And he said, we need to meet. Actually, You know, because people, I don't know how you're taking any of these stories, but the only thing that I've told you so far that is not true, it wasn't Schwarzenegger. That guy became the governor of California, I would usually say, but it wasn't him. I'm kind of doing these things backwards, which is kind of interestingly cosmic. And so Murphy and I got together. We became friends. My record deal fell through. So did Murphy's. We decided there's only one thing to do, and that was get back to Texas, where we once belonged. So we got on I-10, heading east. What? Yeah, it'd be hard to be heading west on I-10 out of Los Angeles. Kind of redundant to say east, I guess. But 2.5 sunrises later, my little Datsun blew a head gasket in Van Horn, Texas. We were caravanning over there to Austin, maybe to get a gig, which there were plenty of in those folk clubs in Texas in that time. And early one morning at this cafe we're sitting at, the town iconoclast, his name was Cactus Jack. He was holding court, and a young fella, couldn't be more than 19, 20 years old, sitting across the table with a way too far away, lonely look in his eye. Way too far away and way too lonely. And he was telling old Jack this story, and Jack, the kid said, right in the middle of the 10-cent scenery, shuffled and stacked on a postcard rack, there's a cute little kid on a Shetland pony. She smiles at me and I can't smile back. And Cactus Jackie drinks coffee black. He says, son, this is your lucky day. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. Oh, 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. Well, now she left me cold on a winter's morning, and cold it's been for the longest time. She told me Texas is where she was going, and I've been looking, but she's so hard to find. And Cactus Jackie drinks coffee black. Look at him. He tells me it's my lucky day today. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. Oh, 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. I don't know just where I'm gonna find her. Maybe the soldier with the suitcase, or she just said she was going down to Texas for a little while. I'm looking for the girl with long brown hair, and she's got hazel eyes, and she's not too pretty, but she's got a beautiful smile, and she just said that she was going down to Texas for a little while. Well, that's what she said. Well, now the cook in the back, he's getting mighty curious, and he asks the waitress where I'm from. She just says, well, heck, I ain't never seen him before. He's probably some sort of spaced out California bum on his way down I-10 to get that San Antonio, that world's most dangerous stretch of highway, that I-35. He's going to turn north, probably get a ticket in that speed trap of shirts on past New Braunfels, San Marcos, where that swimming pig used to live. I heard he'd retired. They say you can go and has him in his bathtub, some guy. That's what I heard, at least. On past Kyle and Buda, where that Bradley cop got a studio, that Red Boot Ranch studio in Kyle. Good recording studio. Cut a lot of hit records there. Maybe we can cut a hit record, but we got to keep going on into Austin. The streets are full of musicians and poets, I heard, actors and dancers of every description. And, you know, I used to be a dancer. I don't spread around Van Horn very much, but I wonder if they'd let me go with them. I'd love to get out of this one-horse town. What do you think, Jack? You like that idea? And Cactus Jackie says, that's right. As I walk out into the light, 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I got a long, long ride. Oh, 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I got a long, long ride. Oh, outside, the sun is coming up, and the wind blows me just like a Dixie cup down the highway. Oh yeah, down the highway. Let's get on that highway. Maybe Jack will come with us. Yoo-hoo. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, and I got a long, long, long ride. Texas Morning by Mike Murphy is before he's Michael Martin Murphy. And Boomer Castleman. Boomer is one character. If you didn't know Boomer, or you thought you did, were afraid to ask, Owens Castleman. But they called him Boomer. And he invented this lever for the guitar, all you guitar folks out there. You know, you've seen these Telecasters with a string bender, but he had 6 string benders on his. It's called a boomerizer. When I first met Murphy, Boomer was playing with him in a band called Tex, and Murphy was the bass player of all things. Anyway, he comes back into the story later. But so we needed a place to live. We weren't going to move to Lubbock, which is where I'm from, and we weren't going to move to Dallas, which is where Murphy was from. So we went to that little aforementioned left-wing hippie pinko town, Austin, Texas. Streets are full of musicians, poets, artists, actors. It was really true. And somehow we fell into the entire nest of them. I'm going to just check out and see if we're on. Looks like we are on. Kind of look pale and washed out, Georgianne. I know you said I do. Do I look pale? I don't know. I don't mean to be pale. If I could get some lights in here and turn up the heat, I could do it. I don't know if I am or not. It's hard to say anymore. All right. Danny Britt's out there. Hey, Danny Britt. Tom Waldron. Okay, Bud just ran. Honest Bob. He's saying Honest Bob. Now, see, I don't have any idea why he's saying Honest Bob with a question mark. I mean, what does he mean? What is he talking about? Kelly Krasick. Hey, Krasick. Kelly, how are you doing? Big Jerry Jeff fan, Kelly. All right. Lee Leatherwood. Wanda Taprele with the shoulder. So there's some people. Oh, I get it. He's making fun of me because of my tip joke, I think. All right, so real quick, We moved back to Texas, and the door opens to the Les Amis Cafe. Guy walks in, says, and he's walking towards our table. And first thing I noticed about him was his boots. He had the coolest boots. They were these embossed boots. And he was wearing this extraordinary vest, this embroidered vest, like from the Andes or something, and this 13.5-gallon hat and a bathing suit. And he walked right up to us and said, "Why, you look like a bunch of itinerant footloose musicians, such as myself. Do you mind if I sit down? My name is Jerry Jeff." So Jerry Jeff sits down, walks into our life. "I got songs I wrote up in Red River," ironically. He didn't say ironic. I say that. But he said that he had written these songs up in Red River. High Hill Country Rain, Charlie Dunn, and he had found this Guy Clark song, L.A. Freeway, said, "Let's make a record." So we did. And we had just made Murphy's Geronimo's Cadillac album, and now we were making a record for Jerry Jeff. And we go on the road with both these guys, and we're out on the road, and we play this place in Santa Fe called the Line Camp, a wild roadhouse out in the desert. And there was a bunch of movie stars there that night. And, people like Peter Fonda and his crew, Jessica Lange, they were all there. I don't know what movie. Tommy, what's her name? Her boyfriend, Tommy, you know it, but I don't remember it. And they invite us over to the bar after the show. We hang around with the bar. There's when we meet the poet. We're getting to it. Dr. Felix. I don't think he's here tonight, so I can tell the poem. He's just about to make him sick, this poem. But I can just say that this is the shortest poem, but I promised you some poetry, and here it is. This is classic Richard Brodigan, Try Fishing in America on Watermelon Sugar. He was in the bar, too, and we looked over and saw him, and this is one of his poems. And the only reason I bring it up, really, is on the fly here, is just because he is going to make a guest appearance in this next song, and you have to know what kind of guy he is, I would think, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you have to know? So, sitting next to me in the bar, sitting next to me in the bar was a guy named Gary P. Nunn. I said, Gary P. Nunn. Now, I knew him before he was Gary P. Nunn, but I think I've figured out chronologically that he was P at this point. So we're sitting there hanging out. We say, why don't we go over and talk to Richard Brodigan anyway? See what kind of guy he is. These movie stars, they're kind of boring, just drunk. So we bought a bottle of wine and we sat down next to Richard Brodigan, wild away the rest of the evening. We ended up writing this song. It's a Texas swing number called Public Domain, and Jerry Jeff recorded it. A few other people, Mike and the Moon Pies. Yeah. I just had a chance to do it on my new CD, Up the Flatland Stairs, which I will pick up and show you right now. This is Up the Flatland Stairs on Howlin' Dog Records, folks. Howlin' Dog. They've got a great roster. Shake Russell, Michael Hearn, Bill Hearn, a lot of people. I can't even remember them all. Wonderful roster they have, and it's Don Richmond and his wife, Terry, which is her happy birthday today, I think. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terry McCartney. How's your brother Paul? Happy birthday to you. So this goes out to you too, Terry. That public domain. I got my irons in the fire down in Texas. Got me a toehold in Tennessee. I got my foot in the door of that California store, but I'm up to my ears in me. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your politics will kill you. And it's all just public domain. I took a bite of the Big Apple. Woo! Yes, I dabbled in that forbidden fruit, you naughty boy, where they promised me points and they slipped me through the joints, but I've yet to see any loot from the fat cat in those high-heel Gucci shoes. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your politics will kill you. Yeah. And it's all just public domain. Let's play, boys. Flacco. Uno, dos. Well, I sang in that Red River Valley. I drank wine with the poets in Santa Fe. There he is. I ran with those darlings in Austin, you know I did. Like I ran from Snow White in L.A., you know I did. I've broken all my vows to Demolay. Now that's Gary Nunn's line, and I never understood it. Broken all my vows to Demolay. Years later, when I recorded, I said, I think I go and see what's shaking out in Bombay. But then I started thinking about that Demolay line, and you know, Demolays were like the youth part of the Masons, so Gary Nunn was a Demolay, and he probably knows all these secrets. That's why he's doing so well. He's going to take over the world. So I'll just go ahead and homage to Gary, say, I've broken all my vows to Demolay. But after he remembered, I've broken all my vows to Demolay, he once said, well, it kind of made me feel bad that I did break them. I've kind of thought better of that line. So I think I'd go and see what's shaking out in Bombay. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your politics will kill you. And it's all just public domain. And it makes sense to get into the rain. Into the rain. It's raining. It's raining. It's raining, 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 raining. It makes sense to get into the rain. Oh, yeah. Amen, brother. All right. Public domain. I'm going to go sit down and commiserate with you for just a second. So let's just make sure I hit the right. And we're back with the banner. You see, that's one of the things I hadn't been able to do is get that banner on my main scene tonight, even though I checked it. So there's all kinds of little buttons you got to push, folks. Well, let me see how you're doing over there here on Facebook. And I'm also telling you that I'm also running simulcast with YouTube and Austin City Jams. And so I want to shout out to Austin City Jams, KC Jones, Sandy McGonigal, Kirby Walker. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching over there on Austin City Jams. Okay, it's good to see you. Big shout out to you out there. Okay, well, we're doing all right, I think. I think Tom Waldron says it's winter. We are all pale. That's what he said. Well, all right. Well, Cheryl Van Wyck is there. Hi, cuz. She's my cousin, Lee Leatherwood. How's it sound, Cheryl? I think it's all through my dad's side that we're cousins, and Clarine and Cappy and some big-time cousins down there in South Texas, San Antonio way. Jeff Sellers says it sounds good. Thank you a lot. Jeff Crump. James Nunn is out there. Okay. Lee Leatherwood again. Kelly Krasick. Thank you a lot for tuning in, folks. Susan Herndon, play Oklahoma Girl. Susan Herndon wants to hear Oklahoma Girl. Golly, I don't have the lyrics, but I will do a song that we wrote together. And see, this is my story. If you're going to stick around, Susan, this is my story, and I'm going to stick with it. So, Susan Herndon, for those of you who may or may not know, she's up in Okemah, Oklahoma, or was then. And I met her, and we wrote a couple songs together. One of them's called Oklahoma Girl, that was on my last record. Gypsy Alibi won the Album of the Year at the Texas Music Awards. This record right here, and Oklahoma Girl is on it. And one of the highlights of this record is that Jill Jones from Wimberley is yodeling on it. And I try to yodel, and I don't do a very good job of it, but she's a world-class yodeler. And so, anyway, so I was up there for one of those Woody Guthrie folk festivals, and Susan I kind of got her goat because I think she claims that, I went in and broke her toilet or something. And, what? So I could tell I got her goat. And I said, I got your goat, didn't I? And she had this mangy dog named Poochie. She loves that dog, though. Tootie. And says, yeah, you might as well take my dog. So take that, Tootie. I mean, I say, yeah, I got your goat. Yeah, well, you might as well take my dog. So there's our song. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. And we ended up finishing it over the course of a few months. And I ended up putting it on this new record, which is called, where is it, boys? Up the Flatland Stairs. I got to show that too. That's the new one. So here's a song from that. And you can go to Bob Livingston Music and you can still purchase CDs. I don't know if you knew that still went on, but it does. And we've got some that we'd like to sell you. All right, we're going to go back up and sing this song. It's called You Got My Goat, You Might As Well Take My Dog. Requires a harmonica, one more sip of throat coat. Thanks a lot for coming, folks. Yes, you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. You got me out on a limb, sleeping in your hollow log. You know that you need me, you don't want to stay alone, but why won't you leave me instead of throwing me a bone? And you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Well, now my dog is good, he's been living on the roof. You say that you love him, but he really needs some proof. You can bide your time, or you can start today. Pick up all the pieces, throw it all away, cause the dog needs affection like I needed your love. Give me some direction, cause all I can think of is you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. He's a good old hound, he even writes my daily blog. Pretty good too. He's a lot like you, he's funny and he's smart, but he ripped up my bus like he tore out my heart, or vice versa. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Oh, here it comes. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. That's your part. Let me hear you sing it. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. I couldn't hear you. Come on, wherever you are. Oh, oh. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. You're almost there. One more time. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Now the times are a-changin' and they're moving away fast. You can burn up your dreams, they were never meant to last. There's a light at the end of a very long tunnel. I feel like I've been looking through the wrong end of your funnel. I wonder if you heard me or got my reasons right. This whole thing hit me in the middle of the night. That you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Oh, that's your part. Let me hear you sing it. Yeah, you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. He writes teenage lyrics for my publishing catalog. Had a couple of hits too. I'm moving far from you where there's no one else around. Out of the city back to a one-horse town. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Oh, help me sing it. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Two more times. Oh, 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 oh. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Oh, big ending. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Yeah. Row! Row! Oh, yeah. You got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Susan Herndon, I don't know if you're still there, but there it is. There's a million different ways that we could go from here. But I think I want to go back to Lubbock. Good friend of mine in Lubbock, his name is Andy Wilkinson. He's the poet laureate of Texas Tech University. And he teaches songwriting at Texas Tech. He's a great guy. He's written epic plays and written books and done musicals about John Goodnight, which is one of his ancestors, and he knows all the cowboy lore. He hangs out with all the cowboys at Elko, and they love Andy Wilkinson there. And he wrote this song, and I just love this song, and I'm going to try to do it for you now. I did it last week, and it was last week I did a songs I wish I had written. Part 1. And there is going to be a part 2 is coming up, part 3. I'm waiting for the time when I say, these are all my new songs. I've got to tell you, folks, that learning all this new stuff, and I never thought I was that guy. Someone that turned the knobs. We always had an engineer. But not only do I have to play and sing the songs, think of witty things to say between sets like this. But I got to be the engineer, the video producer. And it's never boring. I want to do a little commercial for my son, Tucker. I have a son. His name is Tucker Livingston. Join his Facebook. He's starting to do some live streams. He's living in India for years. But a great songwriter. And a interesting cat. Tucker and I have gone all over the world together for the State Department. Tucker's not a diplomat, though. He has no filter. All right. Andy Wilkinson's Centerline is what it's called. Beautiful song. I think that what I need to do, because nobody's doing it, I'm going to sit back here for a second at the computer cam just for a moment, and I'm going to write just one little post. Don't you know? And then I go back here to sing Centerline. The air is changing. Summertime and the winter wheat is ripe out in the fields. The volunteer alfalfa blooms down the shoulder of the road. You're asleep in the shotgun seat, my hands loose on the wheel. An easy drive this afternoon, that's everything I know. Say what they will, say what they will, I don't want to get where we're going. Say what they will, say what they will, I don't mind leaving what we left behind for love, 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 love down the center line. Our music last night broke my heart, then it healed it back again. A process that surprises me every time we sing. They say only the certain part is the beginning and the end, but I say you and I can be the highway in between. Say what they will, say what they will, I don't want to get to where we're going. Say what they will, say what they will, well, I don't mind leaving what we left behind for love, 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 love down the center line. Summertime and the evening star big enough to touch, where day and night meet in the west, and our wishes all fly home. They may say we've gone too far, but we've not gone far enough. And I promise things will work out best when best is left alone. Say what they will, say what they will, I don't want to get where we're going. Say what they will, say what they will. You know, I don't mind leaving what we left behind for love, 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 love. Down the center, I don't mind leaving what we left behind for love, 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 love. Down the center line. Beautiful song, Andy Wilkinson. Don't you think it's great, folks? Oh, yeah. All right, Eric Johnson thinks it was good. Thank you, Eric. Eric's a friend of mine from Houston. He has a brother named Dave, and Dave is this scientist. He's a ichthyologist. You know what that is? An ichthyologist. And I can tell you, he works at Smithsonian Institution. And I don't know if I should tell this story, but I've never told it in public. But so we went to see stuff at the Smithsonian that nobody's ever seen. The soap man of the Smithsonian. They can't put him on display. A lot of shrunken heads. Can't do that anymore, but they've got them. And we saw them. But then we went in to see this paleontologist. His name was Dennis. And Dennis said, one thing Dennis did, he picked up a piece of flint and he made an arrowhead in about 5 minutes that looked so much like, he said, I wouldn't, that's why you can't, when you find arrowheads, you're technically supposed to leave them where they are because you'll never be able to convince anybody it's a real old one because people got so good at doing it. And he was damn good at doing it. But then he said, but I know really what you came in here to see. And I don't know. I can't tell you this story, but he started climbing up on this shelf and past the Eye of Newt and all this stuff that he had. And he's the first one that did the addle. The way to kill the mastodon was to throw that thing so fast at such velocity. How are you going to do it? How are you going to throw that spear without this fulcrum, the addle? And but though they didn't survive the millions of years or however long it's been. So he figured out that this is what they did, and they let him go out and actually, I just can't tell these stories because people can't believe it. But they took him out, and there was an elephant they were going to put out of his misery. And he wanted to be able to show that this could be done. And he launched this thing, went right through his heart, killed it deader than a doornail. And they were backed up. They were going to do whatever they do, but Anyway, he started climbing up there, and he had this blue velvet canister, glass canister, and he brought it down, and he opened it up, and he basically said that, I just can't tell the story. I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait for my book. It's too much. Too much of a burden. Too much of a burden. I love it. And I don't even know if anybody's out there, so. I hope we're doing well. This is Bob Livingston. I would just sit down right here and see if I can add this thing, because what I want to do, you see what I'm doing? I don't know if you know what I'm doing, but I'm going into the depths of this machine, and I'm looking for a way to I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm not going to do it. Never mind. Too much trouble on the fly. I was going to grab that banner. I don't know why it's not there. And I have to be in that scene. I could be cool and be on another scene and do it, but you have to be on the scene that you're going to put. My guitar is having a little, it's in heat. It seems hot in here too. I'm going to open up the door. I'm going to open up the door. It's getting kind of hot. My Wi-Fi is in there. I think she's watching her favorite show, one of her favorite shows, which is, I don't know if you heard this show before, but The Midwives. I mean, it's good acting and everything, but about 5-6 times during each show, a baby is being born, with everything that comes with it. Screaming bloody murder most of the time. Well, yeah. My brother wanted to hear a song, and I'm going to do it for him. Let's see if I can get it all together. So I used to play with old Jerry Jeff. And we made a record in Lukenbach, Texas called Viva Terlingua. And Jerry Jeff never knew what he was going to do next. And in this song in particular, he had no lyrics. Every time we did it completely different. But some insight, the president of MCA Records, who Jerry Jeff kind of liked, his name was Mike Maitland. And Maitland liked him because he's a good old whiskey drinking guy like him, and they could hang out at the Hollywood Hills and drink whiskey and talk about the other people on his label, like The Who and Elton John, and he thought they were just, you know, he couldn't understand them, but he could understand a good old New York turned cowboy hanging out in Austin, Texas. And so here's Jerry Jeff did his first album. They didn't understand it, but it had Ellie Freeway on it. It was a hit. So here we were in Lukenbach, Texas, about to do a song, and they turned it on, and this is the version that came out. Let's see, what key will we do it in tonight, folks? Okay, we'll do it in D, the key of D, D-Dog. Hi, buckaroos. Scamp Walker time again. Just trying to slide one by you once more. No matter how you do it like you know what you're doing, Jerry. I've been down the road once or twice before. Just getting by on getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up pieces wherever they fall. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. That's what he said. Here we go now. Last week I was thinking, it's record time again. And I could see Mike Maitland pacing the floor. That's what he said. Hey, Mike, don't you worry. Something bound to come out. I've been down the road once or twice before. Just getting by on getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. Yeah, income tax is overdue, and I think she is too. Been busted and I probably get busted a whole lot more. But I'll catch it all later. Can't let them stop me now. I've been down the road once or twice before. Just getting by on getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. What you say, Jackie Jack? Living my life easy come, easy go. Getting by. Okay, buckaroos. That's from my brother Donald with Longhorn Hatters. Longhorn Hatters. They're in San Antonio. If you need a hat, he's the guy to see. I'm going to go sit down one more time. Just make sure. We're getting close to closing time, and I just want to commiserate with you a little bit. Tom Walden, Crazy Days. Yeah, they were. They were, Tom. Crazy Days. Did you ever play with Bromberg? Question. No, you know, I mean, I did in relation to Jerry Jeff. I mean, he sat in with us a lot up when we were ever in New York. Him and David Amram. So that was a lot of fun, but never did actually play on a record with him or anything. Cowboy Tucker and the Indians. That's true. It's true. All right, folks. I'm going to get back up, do a couple more songs. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do it next Thursday as well, and I'm going to look for it right now, and I'm going to have that theme will be going out this week. Next Thursday, March the 11th, right here. Tell your friends. We need to bring a crowd next time. Hope so. Hope so. All right. I thought I could maybe show you something that might, I showed it earlier, but I'm going to do this commercial that I did with Andy. His name is Andy. And we did a commercial for Kervil Folk Festival. And it just kind of, it's coming up in in October. We're hoping that it works. We're hoping that it happens. But here's our little commercial, only 30 seconds. Be right back. The Kervil Folk Festival has been celebrating songwriters for 50 years. Kervil's Grassy Hill New Folk Songwriting Contest has featured artists such as Adrian Linker, Anais Mitchell, James McMurtry, Lyle Lovett, Nancy Griffith, and Robert Earl Keane. Here everyone is greeted with Welcome Home, where life is simpler, kinder, and musical. The Kervil Folk Festival. Put it on your bucket list. Okay, nice little commercial. They played that at the International Folk Alliance, which just happened. I used to go to those folk alliances, and I'd always get sick. And another thing I've noticed since we've been so quarantined, or whatever the word is, home sheltering, I haven't been sick. Let me knock on some wood here. But I haven't been sick all year. And I usually lose my voice 3 or 4 times. Road is hard. And I've just been hanging out here and not hanging out at those folk festivals, which everybody from all over the world coming in there with who knows what. Maybe that's where it all started, at the International Folk Alliance last year. So I'm going to do this song here for, it's a Michael Murphy song. And I had a request. It's a song that he never really, he recorded after we left him. It never really got the legs that I thought it should. I think it's a great song. It's called You Can Only Say So Much. Probably never heard this song till now. And in this day and age, it makes a lot of sense. Why don't I see? Wow, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Whoa, reminds me of this. Who stands? There Stands the Glass. Webb Pierce. So they had a tape circulating around all the country music back rooms with Webb Pierce going, there stands the glass. And that's what I just did. Why don't we get right to the point now? Why do we find ourselves so bored? We got more creative cobwebs than anybody can afford. Always pretending to be hip. That really gets to be a chore. But what's it all good for? You can only say so much, and then you can't say any more. You can only say so much, and then you can't say any more. To live and breathe a point of view that's just the same as being dead. And I hope that you won't hold me down for anything I've done or said. Mama, mama, I promise not to lead you on, but you gotta promise that you won't be led. 'Cause when it's all been said, you can only say so much, and then you can't say anymore. You can only say so much, and then you can't say any. This is a beautiful verse. In the shadows of the deep sky, you'll find no place completely dark. When the sky is black as ashes, you'll see one dancing, glowing spark. You wonder why it burns so quick now, to have fallen from so far. But you see, that's how things are with a falling star. Falling is what it's for, and you can only fall so far, and then you can't fall anymore. Yeah. You can only run so fast, and then it's too slow. You can only dance so high, and then it's so low. You can only go so far, and then it's a joke. You can only stream so much, and then you can't stream. You can only say so much, and then you can't say anymore. Oh yeah, no matter where you go, you're always in reality. Yeah, it's the ebb of the flow, the thick of the thin reality. So kick back, relax, you're among friends in reality. We want you to know you're a part of the show in reality. So ladies and gentlemen, for your edification, it's Reality Ranch, our presentation. Thank you for coming. Sit down here one more time. Sit down here one more time. And we're just going to kind of look at you for just a second, while we're here, and just say, thank you so much for coming. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Nicely done. Thanks for all of you. You know, look at that PayPal. Bob Livingston Music. You can find it. All right. Trying to say, I'm just trying to say. No matter where you go, you're always in reality. It's the ebb of the flow, the thick of the thin reality. So kick back, relax, you're among friends in reality. We want you to know you're a part of the show in reality. So ladies and gentlemen, for your edification, it's Reality Ranch, our presentation. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Oh, this land was made for you and me. Well, I was strolling that ribbon of highway. I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley, and the this land was made for you and me. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. This show has been brought to you by Iris and Bob Livingston right here in Austin, Texas. Good night. Oh yeah. Yoo-hoo. If you'll be my one more time. Hey, hey, baby, I wanna know if you'll be my girl, if you'll be my girl, if you'll be my girl, if you'll be my girl.
Biggest applause.
I've ever played an accordion. Thank you for coming, folks. I really appreciate it. Let's do it again next week. Tell your friends. Adios. Great to see you. One more time.